Hello and welcome again to another game. This one from what should have been played yesterday is between Aberdeen and Hearts. So Aberdeen, they're looking fairly decent so far in the league. They're dropping now down to 5th place in the league after the games that we've played, after Livingston have done well. We're level on points with Livingston. They're looking definitely to get a victory out of this. But Hearts, bottom of the table still, after a couple of games that we've simulated and a disastrous start to the season in real life. And so they're struggling with confidence, definitely. Let's have a look at the teams out there today. So for Aberdeen, it's Joe Lewis in goal, Considine, McKenna, Taylor and Logan in back four, Kennedy, Ojo, Ferguson and McLennan in midfield, McGinn playing in that cam role, and Cosgrove up front. For Hearts, they're playing Pereira in goal, Hickey, Suter, Halkett and Smith in the back four, Walker, Irving, Sibic and Clare in midfield, Naismith in the cam role, and Boyce up front. So same formation for both teams, and let's see how the game goes though. So both teams struggling for form, and definitely in the games that we simulated out there, Aberdeen with the home advantage and definitely the better league position. But for Aberdeen, it's just been the trouble of trying to make the most of the chances that they're creating. And getting caught on the break against the teams that they've played recently, but let's see how they get on out there today against a Hearts team that's again not making the most, not really having the confidence in that final third to make the most of the chances that they've had. So could be an interesting game. Definitely could be closer than the league positions suggest. Now Ferguson does very well there. Plays it in for Cosgrove. Cosgrove, oof, that was very close indeed. A great save in the end from Pereira, but look at this from Cosgrove. He just steps inside, makes a little bit of space for the shot, and then hammers it goal bound. But yeah, Aberdeen are just slicing their way through the defence at the moment and begin to take the corner. So an outswinger, Pereira comes out and is put back into the mix, but headed out in the end, I think, by Naismith. And now Walker has it. He's all on his own up front, but Clare's quickly coming up and gets it back. Walker. So Boyce's pass is cut out though. And so Aberdeen have it now a little bit on the break. Cosgrove. That's a phenomenal ball, but well cut out in the end. Logan and Hickey again cuts that out. That's better form from him. He's been one of the lights in the Hearts team this season, but yeah, he's had a few shaky moments, but he's a young lad and he's definitely hopeful for the future. Logan gets the ball across and nearly wasn't dealt with, but in the end added out for the second corner in the first 10 minutes. Aberdeen definitely starting with an attacking intent. Again curls the ball out, but this time Pereira doesn't go out to it, and it's dealt with by two Hearts players. So the ball goes out for a throw at the far side this time. Kennedy takes it past the man. That's a great ball, but it's nobody's gone in for the kill, and Pereira in the end gathers it relatively easily. So Suter, Smith plays it forwards a bit to Clare, but it's just ahead of Clare and he's not got the ball. So Considine will throw it in for McKenna. That's a Considine. Joe, well won by Boyce, I think. But in the end, Aberdeen still end up with the ball. And Kennedy wins the throw-in midway into the Hearts half. So again, good ball, Kennedy. Again, it's another good ball, but it's well dealt with, I think, again by Suter. Maybe Walker to Halkett. Maybe it was Halkett who dealt with that one. Sibic to Smith, back to Sibic. Put Clare up ahead of him. Clare goes back to Sibic. And Smith now has it. That's a good ball. Clare now cuts inside, finds Boyce, but Boyce runs into trouble. And so Cosgrove now has it in a relatively promising position. McGinn out, but it's cut out in the end. Clare back heels it to Smith and back to Clare. Back to Smith. Well, that's played him into a bit of trouble there. He could have turned, he had the space. Hawk it now to Civic. Civic's pass isn't good, but it's one back anyway. And now he has a bit of a chance. A good one too. Boyce back to Civic. Plays it behind Boyce, and so Aberdeen get it clear. Again now to Ojo. To Kennedy. Kennedy has some space now on this left wing, and he's got a bit of speed, but he decides instead to cut back. And back inside to Ojo, to McGinn. McGinn now. Oh, he's... defence just opened up for him there. He's got a good boot on him from distance as well, and Pereira gets down to it. Isn't able to hold it. But what's this, corner number 3 for Aberdeen? Definitely again had more of the ball in this first half, but once again they're struggling to make it, convert them into goals. And that's corners headed straight out. Corona coming out to have a bit of a chat with his defence. There's a lot of white shirts in the box. That's defending for their season really here. That goes in and it's well headed clear, and it's up again to Walker, but this time it's won by the Aberdeen back line, and Logan now pass out to Ferguson. Ferguson has options inside, chooses Logan. If Logan goes for the shot, he had again options inside, but fancied himself to have a bit of a crack. And he's just lifted it over the bar, high and wide. Remains 0-0 here. Half an hour just about gone. Aberdeen by far the better team, but Hearts holding strong so far. And here we go. We have a chance. Civic is on to Naismith. Naismith makes a bit of space, then runs straight into the wall of Ojo. Ojo now chips a nice ball to Cosgrove. Cosgrove hasn't seen much of the ball. Whew. And his cross leaves a bit to be desired. So I'm happy with it, I can tell. Half an hour gone. And it's still... Hearts just struggling to sort of string any play together, and as soon as they get into the final third, well, not even the final third, into the midfield, they're just struggling to string those passes together. Tried to cross the ball, but Logan's beaten Walker there. And so McGinn now plays it up to Cosgrove. Cosgrove, chance now on the other side. Wins it back though, and McGinn rifles a shot off the defender. It's well blocked in the end. Halkett, I think. So, must be the 5th or 6th corner that Aberdeen have had in this half. And again, it's dealt with relatively easily. Logan. Okay, now. Considine. Ojo. Ferguson. Goes inside, and it's well defended, but again, a bit panicked to clear that, and it's definitely a fair thing, it has to be said, with Hearts. They're just not doing the basics right, really. Kennedy plays it on McGinn. So much space, but in the end is blocked. And throwing goes to Aberdeen. Promising position. Kennedy well offside. No, actually not as well as you would think. It's just a foot. also behind Suter. But Hearts will be relieved to take a bit of the pressure off. It's a long kick up by Smith, but well dealt with by Aberdeen's back four, who haven't had much to deal with, but they've done what they've done well. Smith, though, gets in well. It's done well. Irving now plays it back to Smith. Smith's got Naismith inside of him. He plays it straight back to Civic, and a little bit of a passing game between those two. And Naismith does well to turn. Claire's got options. He decides on the shot. Ooh, maybe think he had better options there, but the shot wasn't terrible. Just relatively easy to deal with. So Irving across to Civic. This is better from Hearts. They're stringing passes together. Naismith now plays it out to Walker. Walker crosses it. Boyce at the far post, but it's dealt with in the end. And there's about a minute left of the injury time in this half. Hearts looking better in this last sort of few moments, and they won't want this half to finish really, because they've built up a bit of a momentum. Boyce heads it, but it's gone wide, and that's going to be the half. So yeah, Aberdeen really have had 90% of this half, and Cosgrove relatively quiet half from him. He had that chance in the first couple of minutes, but since then he's been not really coming very deep. He's been, yeah, fairly quiet. So still 0-0 here. This was the chance that we just mentioned from Cosgrove. It's a good hit, so he's done well to get himself in that position, but it's Pereira's well positioned to get his hands to it, and he does well with the save, but this is McGinn's chance. Okay, Pereira comes to the rescue. He's definitely keeping Hearts in it at the moment, because that back four has been a little bit shaky. Logan's chance, I don't think he had better options there, and he's just sort of flown that over the bar into the stand. Again, he had his chance blocked, and that's the half. So, I mean, this is it all. Possession, interestingly enough, is not that dissimilar. It's only 51 to 49, but shots on target 4-1, 6-1 shots generally. It's only one shot from Hearts. That's Claire's shot, which was on target. The corner's 5-0. So yeah, I think that says a lot about it. But Hearts have held on, and they started to come alive a little bit at the end of that second half. If they can keep that momentum going, you tend to think there's a chance for them in this half to sneak away with a goal or maybe two. So Hickey into McGinn to Ferguson. I'm looking at the completely wrong team. Walker cuts inside, and now there's space. And the shot is terrible. It's straight down the throat of Lewis. But with Boyce and Naismith hovering around, you tend to think, yeah, again, it's just poor decision making in that final third. But like we say, better from Hearts. Started the second half well, and Smith does really well there. And now he has some space and good passing play. Chips the ball in, but it's well cleared. McLennan again lays it forward from McLennan, and now Aberdeen have a real chance on the break here. McLennan clips the ball in, and it goes behind everyone, and Suter in the end relievedly gets it clear. Naismith to Boyce, back to Naismith, and this is really an end turn to start the second half. And that's a great ball. Walker something to run onto now. He's going to run into a bit of trouble. And so the throw-in goes to Hearts. 55 minutes on the clock, and this has been a faster-paced second half. Probably more in the way of entertainment than most of the first half combined. Logan as well, and now has a chance to run. And again, Aberdeen looking dangerous on this break. They've got so much space on that left wing. It's gone to the back post, but Smith, for me, Hearts player of the match so far, has headed that out. But that was last-ditch defending, really, there. So substitution, Bosnic on for somebody else. Find out in a moment. Irving. Yeah, it's very quiet. And there we go. Hearts able to work the ball clear. And again, this pass is well cut out by Bosnic. Hickey now. Hickey in to Walker. Walker to Bosnic. Finds Boyce. Boyce to Naismith. Back to Boyce. Back to Naismith. Naismith now has a chance. Finds Boyce. Boyce on the edge of the area. That's a poor shot. But the second one isn't. And it's in. And a bit of luck, but that's what they've needed. And it's 1-0 to Hearts. Eric Petodry. And it's Boyce. Second time of asking. It's come off the keeper, off the post and in. But Hearts have a much needed goal. And Aberdeen's wastefulness in that first half is coming back to bite them. But Naismith does so well there. And Boyce's first shot is blocked, but he gets the second one off. Lewis gets a glove to it. And wow, in off the post, but you've got to say the second half, Hearts have been much more lively. Aberdeen have been hitting on the break, but yeah, Boyce gets a goal. 64 minutes on the clock. Now they need to hold that lead or extend it in the next wee while. Aberdeen, though, they'll be looking for the victory because their season is in freefall at the moment. Cosgrove brings it in, and is this going to be a quick response? No, because Pereira yet again solid between the goals today. But that defence, what on earth happened there? How can Suter just... We weren't coordinating at all, and finding himself with a lot of time. So an Aberdeen change, edged on for McLennan, and the corner again dealt with fairly easily at the front post. Another change for Hearts this time, and it's Boyce, the goal scorer, coming off. And it looks like, is that Ikpeazu coming on? It is indeed. Ikpeazu on for Boyce. So we get a good run out last 20 minutes or so. That's a good ball in. Pereira gets the fist to it though. And the second ball kind of goes Hearts' way. Halkett now finds Smith to Clare. Clare back to Smith. Smith though runs into trouble and Kennedy's able to take it off him. Finds Considine and again and back to Kennedy. Kennedy's him again and a real chance in here, and then Cosgrove again turns on Halkett. No problem. That ball again punched out clear though by Pereira, and it's now out to Ikpeazu. Ikpeazu. That pass isn't kind and it's dealt with by the Aberdeen defence. So here Kennedy again has so much space on this wing, and Sibic is having to come out to deal with it, and he's taking it past Sibic now. But the cross in is cleared. Ikpeazu gets it back to Naismith. Clare does well, finds Ikpeazu back to Clare. Ikpeazu made the run, but the ball from Clare was it was late to say the least. 13 minutes or so on the clock. Oof. So free kick. Not sure which way that went. And Hearts making a change. Ojo and Clare coming off. And some people coming on. We found out Bryson on for Ojo. And Avdijaj on for Clare. And Aberdeen, a little bit risky, but it's what paid off for them. Ferguson, again, out to Hedges on that right wing. Back into Ferguson. And he'll find some space in. Oof. Hedges, oh, decent chance. Acrobatic, but In the end, it's flown wide of the post. It's an interesting technique. He's got a hold of the ball at least, but wasn't very accurate. And so the last 10 minutes, Hearts will be hanging on for grim life at the moment. Civic finds Halkett. Halkett looking for some options. Finds Bryson. Suter. Naismith. Avdijash. And for Ikpiezu runs into McKenna. Again, Kennedy finds Ferguson. Ferguson clips it back up to Kennedy, and the ball is decent, but it's well dealt with at the back post. I think Suter, was it? Again, coming off for this chap. 7 corners to nil. I mean, that's quite a lot. Oh, that's a decent corner. It's another corner. 8 corners to nil. You'd think they'd be getting better at it now. 4 minutes left on the clock, and Hearts will be desperate to hold on for a victory here. 3 points would be so important. It's Main who came on for McGinn. The high looping one. The header comes in, but it's in the end it's looping and it's slow and it's easy for Pereira to deal with. And then 88 minutes on the clock. Pereira stalling a little bit for time, but Civic now to Ikpiezu. Ikpiezu finds a nice ball through for Naismith in the end. Via Walker, and Naismith takes it past. Now Walker has a chance, but the shot is straight at Lewis, and wow, that would have been nice. But for Hearts, but in the end it wasn't very good. Ikpiezu runs out to the wing and goes down, and that's full time. Wow, what a victory for Hearts. 1-0 in the end, and you've got to say they've deserved it. Aberdeen just didn't take their chances very well at all, and and Hearts did. They took that chance. It's a little bit lucky in the end, but here he is, the man of the moment. Liam Royce scores the goal, and that is the difference between the two teams. Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1.